Well, good morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm Sean, Urban Tactical Survival. Up about 6 o'clock this morning. Usually get up here about this time and get some coffee going. I thought I'd do that with you guys and bring to you a quick video on a camp stove that I've had for quite some time now. I have used this out in the field. I've had on a couple of backpacking trips, overnighters, and this is a windproof and very sturdy, nice stove. It's called the Widesea. It's one of their larger stoves, I think, the largest they make. So, get this out the box here. I'll be back to these in a minute. Pull this out this little container here. There you have it. Stove is made of stainless steel, copper, and aluminum. Has some fold-out legs here that you fold out. You want to be careful on one set of legs here that you don't grab the legs and the Pizzo igniter at the same time and rip that out. But it does have a Pizzo igniter to ignite the fuel. Has legs that fold out on the bottom here, just like that. This is what it looks like. This stove will accommodate small to medium pots or pans of your choice for cooking larger meals, or just boiling water for a dehydrated meal, or getting coffee done like we're going to do this morning. So, and here's the fuel regulator. Regulate how much fuel you're going to get to the stove. And the fuel we use is a canister you can get at your local Walmart stores or sporting goods stores like REI or Dick's Sporting Goods. Isobutane is the fuel that we're using this morning. I think that's the only fuel that this stove will use. These canisters come dime a dozen. You do want to retain the black top that comes on top of here, just like that, after you use it, because if you damage these threads on this canister by any means, you may not get a positive seal from the fuel regulator on the stove to the canister. It may not even screw on, and it will leak. So you want to be careful not to damage the threads. And one way of doing that is just to retain the top and put it back on when you're done. I always hold on to these, keep that from happening. So let's pull this top off of here, set that off to the side here. And let's get this screwed on here. Screwed on just like this. Okay. Nice hand tight is all it takes. Okay. I took the liberty of incorporating some canister legs. If you happen to be out in the field, camping somewhere, and you got uneven grounds, these legs will help support the canister and keep it upright. You just clip them on to the bottom of the canister. Get that in there, just like that. Now they're on there. They're not gonna fall off. They'll stay on there. And it's designed to keep the canister leveled so that you are able to use the fuel and get the fuel out and keep it from falling over. But for this morning's application and the video, we're not going to need these legs because this table is wide enough to support the canister. So I'm just going to fold these up. Don't need these this morning. Set those to the side. And let's get this lid. There we go. Now I'm able to bring this up to a full blast, or bring it down to a nice simmer if I wanted to keep something warm. There we go. I think I can go lower than that. I don't want to go too low, shut off the fuel completely. But as you can see, I can bring it up to medium, real high. Just with the regulator, fuel regulator that's on the fuel canister. So I've got my water here. I have a MSR pot. Gonna get some water in there. And get some water boiled up here. This pot holds about 24 ounces of water. We're not going to need that much left for a cup of coffee. There we go. Definitely not going to need 24 ounces of water. Okay. You do want to be careful on the placement of the pot on the stove so that the jets do not rise above the pot on the sides and heat up the handles on your pot. This pot comes with butterfly style handles. So I'm gonna put the top on there. Yeah, let's see. It's exactly 6:15, so we're going to see how long it takes to get a pot of water here. I've got about 32 ounces of water in there. No, not 32. I got about maybe maybe 24 ounces. Not sure. This pot doesn't come with graduation marks. So I got about 8 ounces of water. Yeah, it looks like 8 ounces. There's 8 ounces of water in there. I'm gonna go with 8. Being it doesn't have graduation marks in there, can't measure. So I got my trusty little coffee cup here. That's right, folks. Read it and weep. There. You know those little seasoning containers, you go to your local Walmart or Kroger's, wherever, and you buy the seasonings in the little containers. They make great containers for your creamer, coffee, and your sugar. So if I was you and you're going camping, I would retain those containers when you're done and dual purpose them. I'm using them to hold my creamer, sugar, and my coffee in there. We are going to attempt to do some coffee, the old cowboy style. Now, I must admit that every single time that I've tried this method of coffee, and I've seen and heard people tell you, oh yeah, I put the coffee into the pot when it gets hot, and then you want to splash cold water on top of the coffee when it's done, and It forces the coffee grinds to the bottom, and you won't get coffee grinds in your coffee cup. I say BS to that. Every single time that I have attempted to do that, it has failed. So I'm going to make some coffee, and I'm going to do it the safe way. I do have a little coffee strainer that I am going to use. Oh, and we have a boil, a rapid boil here. That took maybe about 2 minutes. 2 minutes exactly. Wow. That's very impressive. Now, for me, it's a personal preference thing. I am not too concerned about the rapid boil situation, getting the water boiled very quickly. I'm not concerned about that. As long as I can get the water hot enough for a cup of coffee, that is all I am concerned about. It is not a big deal for me on getting a rapid boil on coffee. So like I said, these little season containers are great for carrying, even carrying some seasons that you might want to use when you're cooking something. But for coffee this morning, I got one here was got coffee in it. So I'm gonna put coffee in there. You put as much as you want for the strength of coffee that you desire. Done with that. Now, let that sit in there and stoke up nice and nice and okay. Now you do not want to do this with rapid boiling water and put coffee in your pot on a rapid boil, because that would tend to scorch your coffee or burn it, and then you'll have a very bad tasting coffee. You could smell it, then it will smell like it's burnt. I tell you, I've gone into a local coffee shop, one particular, gotta punch it, Starbucks, and I've walked in and their coffee just smelled like it was burnt, like it's probably been sitting on a coffee pot, coffee's been sitting in the pot for hours and just constantly being heated and heated and heated, and I don't like the taste of that coffee. Then I've gone to other coffee shops, little mom and pop coffee shops, and I've gone into those places and had a great cup of coffee. So I know here at home I will be able to do the same. So I do have one here. This is for sugar, and I have one here for creamer. Now, normally I use a liquid creamer, but I'm out, so I'll go to the powder. It's not a problem. And I'm going to screw that top off with sugar. Shake some sugar down in here. Some people like black coffee. I don't. I like cream and sugar. Cream and sugar in my coffee. So stumbling on words, can't get them out. It's early. Give me a break. It's early. Put a little creamer down in there. All right. Now, what you're supposed to do at this time is take some cold water, dribble it on the top of the water, which would then cause the coffee grinds to fall to the bottom. So I'm just going to do that just for shits and giggles this morning. I'm going to do that. And since I don't have a kettle and you would pour some down the sprout, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to put the top back on. like so. Coffee cup here. And I'm just gonna pour that in there. Get my little strainer. Pour the coffee down into the strainer to catch any coffee grinds that might sneak past and come fall into my coffee cup. I don't want that. And this is working very well. Like I said, each and every time that I've used this method to get a cup of coffee, as I suspected, here there's coffee grinds. I wish I could show you and you see that down in there. I'm not sure if you can, but there's coffee grinds in there. So, BS on the cowboy style of coffee. So let me stir this up a little bit here. I'm using my Sea to Summit spoon here, rubberized spoon. This is a great spoon. So if you're into eating mountain houses and dehydrated meals, you know those packages are deep and the food in those packages way down in the bottom, and you need something to stir it up when you get the water in there. This spoon is great for that application. It's rubberized. So yeah, this happens to be a metal coffee cup I picked up online, and I don't want to scrape the bottom of the coffee cup with a metal spoon, so that rubberized spoon there is perfect. So here we go. Bon appetit. That's great. Great cup of coffee. Yes. Hot as it should be. I remember a story way back of a lady pulled up to a McDonald's, and she wind up suing the McDonald's for them giving her a hot cup of coffee, and get this, she spilt it on herself, and she got upset that the cup of coffee was hot. Now on the top, the plastic top that comes on the little cups of coffee they give you, it says hot. It says hot on the cups. You're ordering a hot cup of coffee. It's not their fault that you're a little clumsy and you happen to, by whatever means, you spilt it on you, and it landed in her lap and she burnt herself on her lap. I doubt that it was any serious burn, but it was hot enough to, really singe her leg. And yeah, she wind up suing McDonald's for giving her a hot cup of coffee that she spilt on herself. And get this, drum roll, she won the case. Blew my mind, just pow. How could that happen? You order a hot cup of coffee. That's what I want. If I want coffee, I want it hot. I know some people like cold iced coffee. Not me, buddy. I like a hot cup of coffee. And that's what she ordered, and that's what happened. I couldn't believe it. That happened a few years ago. Yeah, I'd say maybe about 6 years ago. Not a few, but 6 years ago. Can't remember where it happened, but it happened at a McDonald's. Do a search. Do a Google search on that, and you'll see. So, here I got my cup of coffee here. My spoon I'm going to set over to the side there. I do have some coffee in that pot. I'm going to set there. Go back to the stove. Like I said, this is a great stove. If you're interested in windproof, so it will withstand, and you will be able to cook with in a windy condition. I would advise getting some type of windscreen that you can put around the stove to help mitigate wind blowing on your stove and blowing the fire out. Then you have to go back and restart it. But yeah, the online information on this stove says it's windproof, made of stainless steel, copper, and aluminum. The Pizzo igniter on this side here is a great addition to a stove. I don't think I would buy any stove without one. It would be advised, you know, two is one, one is none, to carry a cigarette lighter. I do have one here. So in the event that your Pizzo igniter fails, you do have a way of getting that lit. I'll show you here. I got the fuel going, and I can get it started with a cigarette lighter. And in the winter or fall, autumn time of the season, it's a good hand warmer. Get your hands nice and warm. It's pretty nice out here this morning, so there's something I wouldn't need to keep my hands warm. But great stove. Let me take it off of this fuel canister, and I'll get a weight on you. See just how much it weighs. For those campers and hikers who are concerned about weight, as you should be, because I know I am, but it's not a deal breaker for me on whether I keep a stove or not. I do want to carry something that's very light. You do want to handle this, or don't want to handle this when it's hot. So here's the stove. I have a scale right here. Okay. Set that on there. I'm getting about 9 ounces. 9 ounces on the scale alone. Now, let's see here. With the pot stand, and remember, I'm putting the black top back on the canister. I'm done with it, so I don't want to destroy my threads. So let's put that. Let's see here. The container it comes with is about 2.4 ounces. The pot stand, 0.9 ounces. So this really doesn't have much weight. I mean, if you put this in your pocket, you would forget you had it. That's how light this is. So, so let's go ahead and put this all together back in the storage container it came in. Put the pot stand legs inside on top, like so. Put that back together. And set that up there. And we're looking at 12.3 ounces. That's not really heavy. I mean, in your hand, you can feel the weight. You know, it does have a little weight, but for me, in a backpacking or camping situation, that's really not nothing. I mean, you got to be willing to carry weight in your backpack. The cigarette lighter. Give me a break. 0.7 ounces. This is nothing. the containers that I'm carrying. Coffee. 1.8 ounces on the coffee. Creamer. 2.7. Sugar. 2.9. And needless, don't need to weigh the water, because we all know the water is going to be the heaviest thing in one of the heaviest things in your backpack. So oh man, I wish video had smell-o-vision. Oh, to smell this fresh coffee, especially out in the morning like this. Is a beautiful morning. I'm out near an airport, so you will hear planes flying over all the time. I'm in an urban setting, hence the name Urban Tactical Survival. So I do a lot of tactical things in urban areas, giving out information on how-tos in a SHTF scenario, what to do. I've had a lot of people ask me questions on this issue, and what kind of weapons to carry. Do I carry a weapon? Where do I go? How do I do this? And I go out in the field and I test these theories, and I get the information and I bring it to you as best I possibly can. So down at the bottom, I would like you to subscribe, hit like, and share this video if you like it. That this was very informative for you on the new stove that I've been carrying. There we have it again. It's Widesea. Great stove to have in your backpack if you're out camping. Great stove. Always remember, bring you a strainer. You buy this at your local Walmarts. Get them anywhere, really. I have one that's a little taller, just like this one, but it's a little taller. I bought it at a camping supply store. So, and my Seat to Summit spoon. Great spoon. It's a nice, tall, rubberized spoon for eating dehydrated meals. It's got a little carabiner on the end of it. You can hook it on to the inside of your backpack or anything. Whatever, you know. It works for me. So, there you have it this morning. The Widesea stove and my MSR pot without graduation marks. I do have another pot. It's a stainless steel pot. It's much taller, narrow. It does have graduation marks, and I love that pot. I love it for that reason. One of the reasons, and it's such a really strong pot. This one is great because of its, titanium built. It's very, very light, very light. The stainless steel pot's got some weight to it, but I'm good to go. Either one. I like the other pot because of the graduation marks. So, the story this morning: coffee with the Widesea stove. Check them out on their website. They have other pieces of equipment that you can get if that's something you want. And for now, I'm going to finish my cup of coffee and enjoy the rest of this morning. And you do the same. And remember, now is the time to prepare, and always check your six. Till the next time, this is Sean. Take care.